Hare Krishna and welcome everyone to the Sriman Narayaneeyam sessions. Today, let's do chapter 22 of the Sriman Narayaneeyam, which is the story of Ajamila. Now, this chapter corresponds to chapters 1 to 3 of Canto 6 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so let's read the first shloka, and as usual, we'll do a quick translation. अजामिळो नाम महीसुरपुरा चरन् विभो धर्मपथान् गृहाश्रमी गुरोर्गिरा काननमेत्य दृष्टवान् सुदृष्टशीलां कुलडां मदाकुलाम्. Long ago, that is during ancient times, there lived in the city of Kanyagubja, which is today's Kanauj, in the city of Uttar Pradesh in India. There lived a Brahmana there by name Ajamila. He was a very pious person and he had studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir of all good qualities. He respected his guru, his spiritual master, the fire god, his parents, his elders, guests, and everyone. Okay, and one day, following the orders of his father, he went to the forest to collect flowers and kusha grass for a yajna, for a fire sacrifice. There, he saw a Shudra, a low class man who was kissing and embracing a prostitute. He was laughing loudly and having fun with her. Now, seeing this, the dormant, lusty desires in his heart awakened. Okay, and Ajamila tried to control his mind by remembering the Vedic injunctions, but the force of Cupid was so strong that he could not control his mind, and due to some past life karma, he fell a victim to lust. Now he abandoned his family, his very pious, young, beautiful wife, his Brahmanical way of living, and then started living with this prostitute. Okay? And he started leading a very sinful life. He begot 10 children in this prostitute, the youngest of whom was named Narayana. Earlier, people used to name their children, used to give the names of gods and goddesses, give the name of the Lord to their children, so that when you call out to your children, you are unknowingly chanting the name of the Lord, right? But today now, people give all sorts of weird names to their kids, meaningless names. Okay, so now here, this Ajamila named his youngest son Narayana, and he was very, very attached to this little boy. All the time he used to keep on calling to him Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Okay, and that was also due to his pious life that he had led during his younger days. Okay, now he spent his life cheating and plundering and looting people to maintain his family. Yeah, and he was eating this food cooked by the prostitute. Okay, now see, the Upanishads and the Shastras say that there are 5 factors that affect the food that we eat. The first is the money with which you buy the food. Money should be earned by fair means. Second is the person, the mood of the person who goes to buy the raw materials, the ingredients. You should go with a good frame of mind. You should be thankful to the Lord for having given you this money, given you this opportunity to buy these things. Okay, and third is the mood of the cook, the mood of the person who cooks the food. It is very, very contagious. Yeah, because like the gross ingredients that we add to the food, the salt, pepper, chili, turmeric, whatever we add, no, they are the gross ingredients. Likewise, our thoughts, the thoughts of the cook, the emotions of the cook also gets added to the food in a subtle form. Okay, so when we cook, either we keep some light, nice music, we think of the Lord, or you can chant something like that. Okay, because our emotions get mixed with the food in a subtle form. There was once, there was a monk, a wandering monk. Okay, and then as he during his travel, once he comes upon a Brahman, he meets a Brahmana, and the Brahmana invites him to his house to have prasadam. So he accompanies the Brahmana. He goes there and he has food, lunch prasadam with the Brahmana and his family. Okay. Now after the food was served, in the end, dessert was served in a beautiful little katori, a beautiful little bowl. Yeah, and this monk, he liked the bowl. It looked very cute, very nice, a small little bowl. So he gets attached to this bowl, little bowl, this katori, and after having the dessert, slowly he slips the bowl into his bag. Okay, nobody sees, nobody notices it. And then after the prasadam, after the lunch prasadam, he continues with his journey. He takes leave of the Brahmana family, and then he goes his way. After walking a few steps, suddenly he realizes, oh my God, what did I do? I renounced everything in life, and then finally I got attached to this little bowl, little katori. How sad. And then he retraces his steps. He goes back to the Brahmana's house and he apologizes and returns this bowl, this katori. And then he finds out, he wanted to know who cooked this food. And then it was found that the cook of that house, had the habit of stealing little things. Every day, small little things here and there, he used to steal. So the mood of the cook is very infectious. We need to be very careful. Okay? So now third is the mood of the cook, and fourth is the mood on the dining table. Earlier, if you had noticed, people never used to talk much while having their food. They used to silently have their food and go. But nowadays, on the dining table, people talk all sorts of nonsense, all sorts of political news, then gossips, of course, and then, of course, it might be fun talking about others, but we should always be aware that these vibrations, they get mixed with the food that we eat and it affects our health. Finally, it is said that food maketh man, right? It gets mixed with the food. So we should be very, very careful on what we speak on the dining table. If we don't have anything good to say, just keep quiet. Okay, so that is the fourth. And then fifth is the food itself. It should be sattvic food that we eat. Okay, the Upanishads and also the Bhagavad Gita, the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, in the 17th chapter, the Lord says that there are three types of food. Food can be classified into three types: Rajasic, first is the Sattvic, then Rajasic and Tamasic. That is the food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, and food in the mode of ignorance. So we should always try to have Sattvic food, juicy, fresh, not old food, juicy, fresh, good food. Yeah. So these are the 5 factors that affect the food that we eat. And out of that, the mood of the cook and the mood on the dining table, they are very, very infectious. So we should be very careful on these on all these 5 aspects. All right. And thus, spending a very sinful life, 88 years elapsed, and Ajamila did not know that his own time was now exhausted and that death was upon him. Okay. Now, when the time of death arrived, okay, Ajamila saw 3 awkward-looking people, very weird, with deformed bodily features. They had come with a rope in their hands to take him away. Seeing this, he got very scared. Now, who are they? They were actually the Yamadutas, or the order carriers of Yama, the Lord of Death, the attendants of the Lord of Death, Yamadeva. Okay, the Yamadutas. So they had come to take the sinful person to Yamaraja. Now, seeing them, he got very scared because they looked very fierce, and he called out to his son, Narayana, 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 he called out. And as soon as he uttered the name of Narayana, 4 very beautiful looking beings arrived, and they stopped the Yamadutas from taking Ajamila. Now the Yamadutas asked these beings, who are you to stop us from doing our duty? So they say that we are Vishnudutas, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu. We have come here because this person called out to our master Narayana. So then the Yamadutas tell them, he did not call out to your master. He called out to his son Narayana. So then these Vishnudutas tell the Yamadutas, don't you know the principles of religion? Knowingly or unknowingly, if a person calls out the name of our master while leaving the body, then all the sins of previous lives are exhausted. They are burnt to ashes. And they give examples also. Just like you throw a spark of fire onto a heap of dry grass, the grass will turn to ash, right? Whether you throw it knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't matter. Similarly, medicine, you take a medicine, okay, without knowing its potency, without knowing its constituents, without knowing its components. You take a medicine, still it will act on you, though you do not know its potency, right? Similarly, anybody who calls out the name of Narayana while leaving the body, all his sins of past lives will be exhausted and burned to ashes. And then a beautiful discussion ensues between the Yamadutas and the Vishnudutas. It is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1. So, all of you, please read. It's a very nice read. Now, suddenly Ajamila comes to his senses, and he was not aware whether all this that he had seen was a dream or whether it was real. But then suddenly he realized that only because of his past devotional service, he was able to, past pious life, that he was able to see the Vishnudutas. He realized what a sinful life he had been leading. He leaves everything and then goes to Haradwar, where he executes devotional service till the end of his life. And then in the end, the Vishnudutas come and then take him back to Vaikuntha. Okay, and now the Yamadutas go back to Yamaraja, and they tell Yamaraja all that had happened. And now Yamaduta tells them, please don't go near people who are chanting the Lord's name, because that is not under my jurisdiction. And he tells them, bring only those souls whose tongues do not chant the name of the Lord, whose hearts do not remember the Lord, and whose heads do not bow down to the Lord. Bring only such sinful souls to me, not the others, because they are not under my jurisdiction. And then Yamaraja begs pardon from the Lord for the offenses committed by his attendants. Okay, and the poet Sri Melpattur Narayana Bhattadripad winds up this chapter saying, O Lord, O merciful Lord of Guruvayur, please protect me. Okay, and so here there is one thing to be, that is all our austerities, like chanting, going to the temple, all our vows, fasting, all right, all these austerities, they will definitely exhaust, they will all our sins, they will wipe out all the sins that we have committed during the past lifetimes. But the tendency to commit sins again remain. Like, you take when you're not well, you take medicine, you'll be cured. You have a fever, you take paracetamol, okay, you're cured of your fever. But then you cannot say that you will not fall sick again, right? Similarly, all these austerities that we perform, like giving in charity, going to the temple, observing fasts, etc., will exhaust all our previous karmas, all our previous sins. But the tendency to commit sin again still remains. Now, how do you get rid of that tendency? That is only by devotional service. And what is devotional service? By offering everything to the Lord, remembering the Lord 24/7, and offering all that we have to the Lord. For that, what do? Now, suppose you cook food in the kitchen, then you offer it to the Lord. When you offer it to the Lord, what happens? You offer only good things to the Lord, right? And when you offer it to the Lord is not going to eat it. He will cast his glance on the food and then give it back to you. And food becomes prasadam. When you offer the food to the Lord, food becomes prasadam, right? And similarly, now when you earn your earnings, a portion of your earnings, you donate to deserving Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, or you donate for temple renovation, for Krishna conscious activities, God conscious activities, and therefore, and thus the money is purified. Or you have some skills, like you suppose, for example, you know how to tie tulsi mala, you know how to make a garland. You spend some time in the temple helping the temple authorities to make garlands for the deity, etc., etc. And 25, whatever we do, we offer, whatever decisions we make, when we offer it mentally to the Lord, then everything gets purified and you can never go wrong, right? That's what Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Fight remembering me. He does not say don't fight. So Krishna never says that we should leave everything, leave our duty, and then think of him 24/7. While doing our duty, we should remember him. Then all our actions become purified. Okay. And now I'll just share a small story and then we'll stop there. Once there lived a businessman, okay, who had heard the story of Ajamila. So he thought, okay, this is fine, good. Why should I spend my life thinking of Krishna, thinking of the Lord all the time? I will name my sons. I will give the name of the Lord to my sons, and while leaving the body, I'll call out to them, and then I will be purified of everything, and then I can go back to the Lord. Okay, we think that we are clever. Krishna is even more clever. Yeah, he's cleverer than us. So now this businessman, he named, he had three sons, and he named them Rama, Krishna, and Govinda. Okay, and he was full, all his life he devoted to make money, and more money. Okay, he expanded his business, made a lot of money, and he was always thinking of money only and nothing else. He wanted to make more and more and more. Okay, and then finally he grew old, and he had diversified his business, and he entrusted his business to his sons, and he was retired, and he fell ill. One day he fell ill. He was very old and he fell ill. Okay, and the doctor said that he would not survive until the next morning. So then his sons didn't go for work that day. They stayed back home because they didn't know that the doctor said that any moment he might die. So they all stayed back. And the doctor asked this businessman, this person, do you have any last wish to make? So this he asked the doctor, am I going to die? The doctor said, you are in a very bad critical condition. Yes. So if you have any last wish to make, you can definitely tell me. So then he thought, oh, I'm going to die. Then he remembers the story of Ajamila, and then he calls out to his sons, Rama, Krishna, Govinda, he shouts. And immediately all his sons come running to him. Yes, dad, what happened? Seeing them, this this old man gets angry, and he shouts at them, what are you doing here? So he said, you called us, that's why we came. Did you go for work today? I spent my whole life setting up this business and making money, and then now you're here, you have entrusted the whole thing to the workers, the hands of the workers, and you're staying back home. You're going to destroy all that I made. And he started abusing his sons, using all sorts of foul language. He left his body. Okay, so now we can imagine what sort of body he would have got. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever nature, whatever we think of while leaving this body, that we attain. Okay, now you can imagine what sort of body he would have got in his next life. Yeah, we think we are clever. Unless we practice, it will not come all of a sudden. Whatever it may be, in whatever field, dance, music, acting, everything you have to practice. Similarly, we have to practice remembering the Lord always in all our actions. Only then we'll be able to remember him in the end. Okay. And how does it start? Devotional service starts with chanting. The easiest way, the easiest mantra, or the easiest method to remember him is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mantra, which is prescribed for this age of Kali. Okay, you cannot go wrong while chanting. There are only three words: Hare, Krishna, and Rama. So it's very simple. So please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chant and be happy. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon with chapter 23. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.